Hi, this is the third part of my series of how do you decide what your morality is. And I think in the first part of this, I talked about ancient morality coming out of the families, and then I talked about how the morality has come about for people since the caveman times through religion. And now I'm going into the more modern versions of morality and what makes modern morality. I thought about this a long time, and it seems a lot of times to an individual that when they think about right and wrong, that it's like an internal thing, like a universal human thing that everybody should understand which things are right and which things are wrong. But that isn't, I don't think, the case. I struggle with that concept. I think a lot of times what people think is right and wrong is pretty much taught to them, especially from a very young age. And if that had not been the case, then we would not have wars, because in any war that you ever saw, both sides, I think, pretty much think they're right and the other side is wrong. And it's not just that they're right and the other side is wrong. The other side is so absolutely wrong. They must be evil to the point where you have to kill them and blow them up and destroy them. And, at what point in time did you decide that somebody else has that much of a difference in their opinion that you have to actually kill them? And killing people, I think, is pretty severe. And now, as you know, we're on the edge of being able to destroy all humanity. And yeah, I suspect that that's how we're going to come to an end as a species. We're going to kill ourselves, all humanity. Everybody's worried about the artificial intelligence doing it. I don't think so. I think not too long into the future, maybe 100 years, there will be the end of humanity, because people seem to create their own tribes even today, whether you're Chinese or Russian or American or whatever, black, white, whatever tribe you decide, you're willing to kill to achieve that. And and the technology has gotten us to the point where, yeah, we're going to destroy ourselves. That's a sad fact, and I probably won't be around to see it. Yeah, I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong, but what my point is that the people have different ideas about what is good and what is evil. It's taught to them culturally from the very earliest age. Now, I talked about, before, the religions and there's the societies, but here in my country, it has become something of a factor that we follow the law. The laws that were created around 1776 was kind of where the morals of today or of recent morals have come to. I'll give you the future morals, but the recent morals. Now, the easiest way I think to understand these things maybe would be to look at the Bill of Rights of the United States Constitution. We could talk about Thomas Paine and all the different philosophers of the Age of Enlightenment, but they wrote this. It's we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, which is what the Constitution was about, because originally, before the Constitution, they had the Articles of Confederation, and the Union was a little bad, so they said, let's form a more perfect union. Then they say, establish justice. Now that is the second thing they looked at, and justice is, again, a matter of morality, and it's also very often a matter of opinion. And then they say, ensure domestic tranquility. They had problems during the Articles of Confederation with different people trying to break off, from the Union. And what that means, domestic tranquility means, is policemen and courts, justice, and domestic tranquility means law and order, the Law and Order show, and provide for the common defense. Of course, that's pretty self-explanatory. We need a way to fight against the British who want to take us back, and of course there was the French Indian Wars back then, so the country had to circle the wagons and fight against these people, and then promote the general welfare. Now that one there, I could discuss the morality of that. I think that a lot of people on the right don't understand that part of the Constitution, the preamble. Promote the general welfare. They're not saying promote some people's welfare. They said promote the general welfare. This is the moral principle of the United States of America, is to promote the general welfare. And I'm going to tell you that many of the people on the right have no concept of promoting the general welfare. They don't want to tax some people, take away their money, and put it into the government, which is, what the preamble says the government is for, and then build things like bridges and schools and highways and airports and general welfare. Help the starving people so they don't starve to death. Help the homeless people so they don't have to live in the streets. That would be general welfare. Promote the people who are sick so they can go to the doctor and get cured. That would be general welfare. But that part of the Constitution, that part of the preamble, is absolutely something that people on the right don't understand and will not comprehend. They're willfully ignorant of that. And it's written in this, which is you could say that's not moral, but they think it's wrong. Okay, they think to take money from a rich guy and give it to a poor guy, who the rich guy worked hard for his money, would be, they think, theft. But the concept behind the Constitution, which is the United States, says that they have to promote the general welfare. General welfare. No, okay, we go on from there. All right, and then after that is to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Now, there's another one that I think is difficult for some people to comprehend, because some people like their liberty. Everybody likes their own liberty. It's just that they don't like other people's liberty. So, if I have the right to carry a gun, let's say, which is in the Constitution, it doesn't say gun, but it does say arms. If I have a right to carry a rifle into a Walmart, then, that's my right. It's my liberty. But the other person's liberties of people who don't want to be shot by the gun, that doesn't matter. So it's always easy to promote your own, to secure your own liberty. And I can go on and on like that. I have the liberty to go out and rape women, but they shouldn't have the liberty to get an abortion if they get pregnant. My liberty is more important than your liberty. I'm getting maybe a little hyperbole on that one, but my point is that it's always easy to love your own liberty, but it's very difficult to let somebody else have liberty as well, unfortunately. And so in the morals principles, we looked at this and we passed this whole law, the Constitution. We amended it. We freed the slaves. We gave women the right to vote. We allowed the government to tax incomes. And these are things that added on that we decided as a people were morally the thing that we wanted to stay with. So, what question is this? Is this a universal concept? That what we say in the law, what we say in the Constitution, is what we have is universally moral. Now that's the big question, because if the law says that I can't park someplace because it's a no parking zone, but I have a priority of, I have to save somebody from getting stabbed over there, and I'm going to stop the car and park it and run over and save them. Well, that I'm breaking the law by parking. Parking is not always a matter of morality, even though the law says so. I mean that's just one example. Is speeding. If you speed, go 75 in a 70 mile an hour zone, are you a bad person because of that? If the highway is empty and there's no one around, and you got a big stretch of road, I don't know. That's kind of like not really immoral. It's sort of a general guideline, you might say. Morality is, I think, the people don't like this, but it's a relative morality sometimes. Certain things are more, there's priorities is what it is. You have to have priorities and see the big picture to judge a larger sense of morality. And in a very populous country, it's different than a sparsely populated country. That's one of the points that I would make. So in the future, what will morality be? I don't know. I think, but you have to come to grips with the fact that what you consider to be your absolute morality, it may not be absolute morality, because you've just been conditioned to believe that that's the absolute morality. However, in order for us to live in a society where everyone can function and prosper, we've done observations on rules that work for a large functioning society. That's called civilization. Sometimes I think maybe, and I'm afraid, that the United States of America is becoming less civilized because of the fact that we don't seem to agree on even some of those very principles of what is justice and what is liberty and what is general welfare. They seem to be debating the very basis of these things. So in the future, I don't know what's going to be the true morality. Like I said, I'll say this one more time. This will be in closing. But everybody who fights in a war thinks they're right. And yet they're willing to shoot the face off of a person they think is more evil, so evil that they have to shoot their face off because they feel that they are so correct in their morality. But the other side thinks the same thing about you. They think they're so right and their morality and they're so good that you are the evil one. See, there's a disagreement that can't be coordinated with. Can't be put together and logically understood. So what you have to do, I think, maybe if I say the world's going to be wiped out, that's one thing. But I will quote Jesus here: "The meek shall inherit the earth." Thank you.